So, this is a new series I'm starting called Why I Love. In this series, I'm going to be discussing a piece of media that I just love. And I'm going to be discussing the history of it, why I love it, and some of my favourite episodes of it. So, for the first episode of this series, I'm going to be going over one of my favourite TV shows, House. House. Everyone's favourite doctor show, except for the other famous ones that we will never talk about. This show stars Hugh Laurie as a drug addict doctor who solves medical mysteries with a team of other doctors. The show is about medical cases but focuses on House and his team and their lives and issues. If that sounded too deep, don't worry, the show is incredibly funny.
House!
House is a TV show written and created by David Shaw in 2004. The show is about medical diagnostician Greg House. House is a disabled drug addict, and the show spends a lot of its time focusing on House and showing his character at his darkest moments and his brightest. This character depth is one of the many reasons why I love the show. Watching not only House, but every character in the show grow and develop, some for good, some for bad.
Talk screen was clean. He did, however, get hit by a bullet. Just mentioning.
He was shot?
No, somebody threw it at him.
I'm now going to do a quick rundown on my 5 favourite stories from House. I do episodes, but some of them are two-parters, so I'm going to do stories instead. If you were going to watch this show, however, I would say to just start from episode 1 and go through to the end. 5. Birthmark. After receiving word that his father has passed away, House is tricked into attending the funeral. The team tries to diagnose the illness of a woman who was in China researching her birth mother. This episode deals with House's relationship with not only his dad, but also his best friend, James Wilson. 4. Cain and Abel. House and the team treat a young boy who believes he's been the subject of alien experiment, and Cameron is outraged to learn that Cuddy and Wilson have been lying to House about the outcome of his last case. This episode deals with House's ego and his leg pain. 3. Euphoria. When a police officer with a gunshot wound to the head and uncontrollable laughter is admitted, House and the team are baffled. When Foreman begins showing the same symptoms, they race to determine the cause of the illness before Foreman's conditions takes the same path. This episode is 2 parts and is fantastic for it. 2. Broken. House is at Mayfield Psychiatric Hospital and he's decided to have a confrontation with his attending physician, who is in charge of his detox program. House starts to lose out and so resorts to blackmail in an attempt to gain the upper hand. This is another 2-parter and is another brilliant story, watching House recover from his addiction issues. Simple explanation. Charlotte, an older woman who has spent the last 6 months taking care of her husband, Eddie, is rushed to Princeton Plainsboro for immediate treatment after collapsing from respiratory failure at Eddie's deathbed. With both in the hospital, the husband and wife team become a double mystery when Eddie's condition suddenly improves while Charlotte's condition deteriorates. I can't tell you why this is my favourite episode for risk of severe spoilers. I shall caution you, however, this episode features frequent talk of suicide.
Wouldn't respect you if you did.
Wow. Looks like somebody filed halfway through your cane while you were sleeping.
I absolutely love this show, and it was really difficult to pick out just 5 stories that I love. As I said earlier, if you're going to watch House, which I 1000% recommend, I love it so much I've seen it twice, all the way through, and I only started watching in late 2022. Anyway, I 1000% recommend you watch this show, and if you do, start from episode 1 and continue through every single episode, through to the end. This show is brilliant. It's dramatic, it's funny, it's just amazing. One of those brilliant TV shows that balance everything so well. I love it, and I think you guys will love it too. Thanks for watching.